Hello, it's Dominique. I have promised you that I would make a tutorial for my last folio that I call the piled pages folio. So I'm getting my stuff ready, so I thought maybe it would be nice for you to see what you need to make this project, which I will be starting pretty soon. So this is just to remind you what it is. So it's this little folio that I made lately, and it has the pages that open one side and then another side here, and then on this side and again on this side, and then you have the center here. So that's why I call them the piled pages, because the way they're attached to the book, they're kind of piled one on top of the other. Little hinge here that we're going to be gluing on the back cover, and so that's why I call it like that way. So we have two attached here and we have two attached here as well. And the way it works, because they have different size kind of hinge or gusset, I should call them gussets. So that's why they go one after the other as we get a bigger gusset for the page. And then it closes with a latch. You can have a different closure, but I'm going to tell you when it's time for the closure what else you can do. Okay, so I'm going to show you what you need to have. First of all, you need to pick a paper collection. Here I will be working with Sweet and Sassy from DCWV. I had worked with this paper collection last year. I had made a project and I have used maybe not even one sheet of each for the other projects. So I decided that I would make that project. It doesn't take that much paper. So if you have like a scrapbooking kit and a few sheets like plain or a solid color, or like open stock from Joanne that you can get that would match your paper collection, that would be awesome. So you would have enough with a scrapbooking kit. So what I did is I checked to see how many sheets I had, which is good. And when I have packs of paper pads that have cards or little messages, little words like that, I always put them aside, like one of each. And this one happens to have quite a bit. So I put those apart aside, and then I'm going to see if I'm using them as cards or what. There's so many that I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to use all of them. If not, I have the pattern paper in the back which I can use, which can be really awesome. So I suggest you do that. Put your cards away, and then if you need the cards, you can use them as cards. If you need more paper, not as many cards, then you use them for the back, if you have back print on the back, if they're double-sided. Okay, so you need that. Here I have, I use heavyweight cardstock, Paper Studio heavyweight. So you find the color, base color you want for your pages, and the cover is just what it's gonna, like here I had craft, but I'm not doing craft here. This is because I had sand and the color was just matching it, but here I'm not doing cat craft, so just white. Also, you need to have two pieces of chipboard this is medium weight chipboard for the cover. So as you can see, I have two pieces. I have one here, underneath, and I have all those scraps for the two sides here. So that's plenty. If you have a 12 by 12, I don't think that would be enough. So maybe at least one large here, and then the other ones maybe you can have a different size. But if you have two, just have two, just in case. Okay. Also, you need to have kind of a latch here if you want to do the latch one. This one I had bought at, I think it's Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is the one, I think it's Spare Parts. I just changed the packaging. So this is the one here, and the way that it's made, they made their holes so big here, and you only have little brads, like thin brads to go in there, so they keep moving like this. And I've seen a video lately, the lady just didn't fix them, so they were moving like this. It's really not nice. So I highly suggest what I did here, I suggest you do the same, is we're going to use hot glue when we're ready to put it on, and that way it's going to be solid, because there's a lot of pressure, like when you press on it, you do like this, and you don't want this to move. If you have a different company, the latch that has little screws, that's good. Or if you want, you can have something overlapping a little bit more. Like even this project, we're gonna have the piece here on the front cut a little bit further here, because I thought it was a little too small here, so just here. But if you want to have overlapping, you can use two big magnets. Here I'm going to be using magnets, but only inside. Okay. Also, you need to have some fabric for the edges here and some kind of trim ribbon that matches your paper collection. So make sure you have some, because we're using that on the first day, at the beginning. Okay. So here I got some nice fabric that matches my paper collection. I have some pink ribbon and some white ribbon, so I'm gonna make kind of a, I like making a 2-layer kind of trim here. I think it's really nice. A little crooked here. It's hard to put straight. About the embellishments on that, it's all what you want to do after, so I'm not gonna teach you how to put the embellishments on. Also, maybe the interactions you will not want to make the same that I make. I might not do all the interactions, but maybe I will, because they're really quick to make. So we're going to check that. But as long as you have not more than, I would say, 1/4 inch per interaction, because here you have like 1/2 inch every time. You have like 1/4 inch between each layer, each page, between here and here, between here and here, here and here, and then here and here. And here I'm gonna make, I didn't leave enough room here, I thought, so maybe I'm gonna make my spines just like 1/4 or 1/8 of an inch, just 1/8 of an inch, just to make it easier to close, because it's a little stiff here. So if you want to do your interactions, as long as you don't go more than 1/4 inch, and if you want to stick and then see the way that I made mine, then you can do that. Okay, here I'm using plexiglass. If you have what do you call it, I keep looking for that name, you know, that plastic that's really soft, it's good, you can use that. But here I have plexiglass, and because I couldn't find the other plastic that's soft, looking for that name, I'll write it down in the description box when I find it. But here I will be using this again. So it's really nice, and then it has to be an accordion so that it stays, it's expandable, and then you can have access here, because it's hard. So if you have soft, it doesn't have to be as accordion, but we'll talk about that later. Okay. Other than that, here, because I had this little book that I made, maybe you don't need to do this, but make sure you have some extra, maybe elastic. I like elastic because this one is really flat, so it really goes underneath the paper, and the paper, especially this one, was paper, was not cardstock at all. So I was happy to find this one in my stash, so I can put my little book here in the pocket and it stays there. And if you have some stickers to coordinate your paper collection, that would be nice. So get your stuff ready, and get a couple brads too, and magnets if you want to, and that's pretty much it. I'll tell you whatever comes to my mind, but it's pretty much it. Magnets, I have the tiny ones when you don't need to use the big ones. Well, they're not that big, but those are tinier, so you can use those instead, because they're cheaper. So, and there's not much tension. Like when you have only this little flap here, there's not much tension. You can put a small one. Here I put a big one, but I might put a small one. So I have a couple of magnets, small and medium. And that's pretty much it. So gather your stuff, and I will be starting pretty soon, a couple of days from now. By the time I make the video and I publish it on YouTube, it takes a while. So you should be ready to start your project with me, and then we can scrap along together. Okay? So I'll wait for you to be ready, and then we'll start. Thank you. Bye-bye. See you later.